This is STEMx, STEM exploration class with a STEM professional interview, just making school real. Welcome everybody. I'm Mr. Lieberman. This is another STEMx interview with a professional. So happy that you all are here. Momentarily, I'll introduce Cassidy Grattan. But first, I just want to say thanks to you for being present, experiencing this, and seeing how STEM might be in your future and how you can actually do some really cool things related to science, technology, engineering, and math. So thanks for being here, Cassidy. Do you want to just introduce yourself and maybe some of your jobs?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Cassidy Grattan, and I grew up in Port Angeles. Moved away for a long time, and now I'm back living in PA again. And I went to college up at Western Washington University, and really that's where I got started with my scientific career. I majored in environmental science at Huxley College up there. And I wasn't real sure what I was going to do after school until these two biologists from North Cascades National Park came in and presented us with all this really cool data and footage that they had taken up in the park there. They were doing a winter carnivore survey. And they got to ski around all winter long, setting up remote cameras in the middle of nowhere. And they got all this awesome footage of marten and wolverine and all these awesome critters. And they got paid for it. That blew my mind that's what these people did for a living. That was all the stuff that I like doing, skiing around, looking at tracks. And they were getting paid. And then they did really cool stuff in the summer. They did bird surveys and fish surveys and frog surveys. And I just couldn't believe that you could actually have a career like that. So, during college for one of my summers, I worked down in Northern California on a project where we went out and visited these different lakes up in the mountains and caught frogs and snakes, put little chips in them, like the same chip you'd put in a dog or a cat.
You're talking about Doritos. You're talking about microchips, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. They're called pit tags, and you can scan them, and it gives you like a letter and number sequence. It's the same sort of thing they put in pets if you want to track your pets. Mm-hmm. This woman who was doing a research project down there gave me a job, and I spent all summer hiking around the mountains, counting birds and fish and catching snakes. I mean, I was in heaven, and I was hooked. Awesome. And I did that for about 10 or 12 years. And I traveled all over California, Montana, Arizona, spent a summer in New Hampshire, and even volunteered for some wildlife projects down in South America. And it took me all over the place. It's just it's just a great way to see the world. And if you like to travel and you like being out in the mountains, it's a great career choice.
Yeah, what amazing different places to get to visit and places to work. It's not just you're visiting, but you're actually working in these right. Beautiful places.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I went down to Ecuador one winter, but I worked in the summer and the fall doing wildlife stuff, and then I went down to Ecuador to do some traveling. And traveling's great. I love going around seeing places, but it was cool to. I volunteered for a nonprofit down there, and they were doing some invasive weed removals to help nesting seabirds out in the Galapagos, actually. And it was really cool. We lived with this little village out in the middle of nowhere, and it was cool to be integrated into the daily life of the people that live there and to be helping out and not just be a tourist, and being a tourist is great too, but it was neat to feel like you were investing in that community in a way and helping them out. So it's a great way to travel in that it really allows you to get to know a place and maybe lend your services to the area.
Great. And so you mentioned the pit tags, and that's a great example of technology that you used in your work. Can you give us maybe one other example of any sort of science, technology, engineering, or math you've used? But in addition to that, let us know how you learned that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Another example, on that project, we had some really cool sonar software we were using. We'd set up this, it was a little bat detecting station. It's called Anabat was the software we used, and it had a little solar panel that we need to set up and make sure it was charging okay. You'd set up the microphone is essentially a microphone that picked up all the different frequencies that bats sonar make. And this guy had developed this software that could identify the different species of bats based on their particular sonar. Yeah, very cool stuff. That had just come out, and that was 15 plus years ago. And I know that it's gotten a lot more sophisticated. I think there's even an app on your phone that you can download. It might cost money, I'm not sure, but a lot of these wildlife monitoring techniques are now sort of regulated through iPhones and smartphones. But back in the day, before smartphones, it was a little bit different. But I know that the technology has advanced quite a bit.
Yeah, and like now people just on any old smartphone, you can get all kinds of apps to identify things, but even to do citizen science work.
Yeah.
Opportunities for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, let me plug this great app. It's called iNaturalist. My buddy Kenichi, he lives down in the Bay Area. He actually developed it. And now he works for California Academy of Sciences, and he gets to travel the world rolling out his iNaturalist program. He's been to Australia and Borneo and Europe to introduce people to it and to show how it works. And it's pretty amazing. It's citizen science based. It has a bunch of professional curators that sort of will look through the data and make sure it's quality stuff. Like it's great. Anybody can use it. Amateurs can use it. Professionals can use it. But it does have some quality control involved. But hardcore science researchers use that data in tracking, wildlife movements. You can look at bird migration and see where, willow flycatchers are moving across North America as people see them and report them online, and on up into Canada, and then returning again in the fall. You can track phrenology as trees leaf out or flowers bloom. You can see it, move across the continent. Really, it's a really powerful tool, and plus it just gets people excited to go outside, and it's interactive. And I met a lot of great naturalists through the app, and we, back before COVID, but we'd go out together, and it's just kind of a cool way to find community, like-minded people that are into going out and being in nature.
I took note of it. iNaturalist.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And what great stories and experiences that you've made, had a career at all these different jobs. So, and now at Jefferson.
That's right.
You're a wolf.
That's right. Got my little badge right here.
All right.
Yeah, just got off work.
Sounds good.
Yeah. A lot of people go on to get their master's degree, and they kind of roll into office positions or administrative positions with wildlife. But I got interested in education and just wanted to work with kids, and I just and I got to say, kids are a type of wildlife all by themselves too. So.
Well, you're a great teacher. You're a great teacher as well as naturalist and STEM professional. So thanks so much, Cassidy, for taking the time to share all of this. And I'm sure you have, just by doing this, inspired some students to become future naturalists and maybe even professional biologists. So thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for having me, Dan.
All right. And thanks to everybody for participating in another STEMx interview. This is STEMx, STEM exploration class with a STEM professional interview, just making school real.